Developing right now on Morning News Now, travel plans up in the air for millions of people just weeks before Thanksgiving. Starting today, hundreds of flights in and out of the country's biggest airports canceled as the historic government shutdown drags on into day 38. All as the Trump administration fights back against a judge's orders to fund food benefits in full by today. The president's still defiant over the issue at the heart of the shutdown.
The shutdown is caused by the Democrats, and we're not going to spend $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion on health care for people that came into our country illegally.
At the Capitol, the Senate set to vote today on an amended spending bill to end the shutdown. We'll bring you the latest. Also this morning, it is the end of an era in Washington. Nancy Pelosi, the first and only female Speaker of the House, says she won't seek re-election next year. It marks the end of nearly 4 decades in Congress for the prominent and powerful San Francisco Democrat. A look back at the Speaker Emeritus' storied career as we look ahead to what's next for her and her party. Plus, a multi-million-dollar award in the lawsuit brought again by a teacher shot by her 6-year-old student. She sued the school's former assistant principal, alleging that school official didn't do enough to stop it. We'll have reaction from a Virginia courtroom. And not so intelligent, researchers at Oxford sounding off on the way AI performance is evaluated, calling the results of benchmark testing exaggerated and unreliable. They're warning to consumers and what they say the data really shows. AI technology moving so quickly, perhaps a reminder to take a pause and take a breath here as we look at all the advances here. Good to have you with us on a Friday morning. I'm Joe Fryer.
Yeah, there's a little bit of good news. It's Friday morning. I'm Savannah Sellers.
Let's begin this morning with the 38th day of the government shutdown and some of the nation's biggest airports bracing for a major slowdown. Airlines are already canceling hundreds of flights. It's because Trump administration officials issued an emergency order slashing air traffic at 40 of the busiest airports by 10%. The first phase starts today at 4%, with plans to slowly ramp up over the coming week.
It's an effort, officials say, to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. Airports are dealing with serious staffing shortages as federal aviation workers are set to miss their second full paycheck next week. In Washington, the Senate is expected to hold a key vote today that could reopen the government. Until then, some TSA officers say they are worried about how they're going to pay for the basic necessities.
Shouldn't be treated like this working for the federal government. We're expected to come to work each day with a smile on our face under the tumultuous stress of the general public. There's no relief, there's no aid.
Some rental places only give you maybe, I think, a week's tops to actually pay rent and mortgages.
These are things that are hard to explain to our families. How do I explain to them that, mommy is having a hard time putting food on the table for them?
Going.com travel expert Katie Nastro is going to tell us everything that you need to know if you're planning on traveling in, if you have to for something. But first, let's go to NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona for the latest on the shutdown. Mel, good morning. So first, let's get some details on how this works. Are airlines kind of left to their own to decide which flights to cancel? Are they getting guidance from the FAA on this? How's it work?
Yeah, good morning, guys. So the FAA has only instructed how much to cut flights. That would be 4% starting today, up to 10% by next week. And they've only said this should apply to domestic flights, not international flights. They've also instructed which airports. So there's 40 different airports all around the country, a lot of them major hubs from Chicago O'Hare, Boston Logan, all through New York airports. That means that it's really up to airlines to figure out how to implement this. Although the FAA can reject some of these cuts if it disproportionately affects certain communities. And in the meantime, the airlines are really scrambling to try to figure this all out. What that means, American Airlines, they're planning to cut 220 flights just today. Delta, 170 flights. Just to give you a sense of how much this is going to impact customers. And for the airlines, that is just a huge headache. So they started rolling out plans for vouchers, for rescheduling protocols, for how this is going to be impacting passengers. Just a lot of chaos that we are bracing for this weekend as the shutdown is still dragging on.
So, Mel, federal transportation officials are stating the obvious. The longer the shutdown drags on, the worse the chaos at the airports is going to get. Is this airport chaos, especially with the holidays around the corner, the thing that's most likely to push lawmakers to find a solution? And that vote later today, is there anything different about this one?
Well, there's nothing going to be different about the outcome, unfortunately, today. We are getting the sense that Democrats are going to mostly vote against this plan today. But what is different about what the GOP leadership was planning to put on the floor today was not just the stopgap spending bill that they've been voting on over and over again, but if Democrats agreed to advance that bill, the plan was to, A, amend the end date, because right now that stopgap spending bill only has funding until November 21st, which now is just around the corner. So they were going to amend that date to a different date, potentially in January. And then they were also going to attach 3 long-term funding bills as a sign of good faith that they're moving along with the appropriation process. And finally, they were going to promise a vote at a future date on extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which has been at the heart of this shutdown. But Democrats, after a meeting yesterday, decided that they're going to band together and hold out for more because they feel encouraged by the election results on Tuesday, where Democrats had a big night. And they're also sensing that Trump is getting really antsy because after Tuesday, he started blaming Republicans. He started to call on them to end the shutdown immediately. So Democrats, they want to hold out for even more at this point, which means we're unclear about how long the shutdown is still going to last.
And then, Mel, let's talk about the House side of this. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson hasn't called representatives back to Washington since their last vote, and that was on September 19th. Where does he stand when it comes to some of the promises that Republicans in the Senate are considering making to Democrats here?
Yeah, this is why Democrats are so reluctant to back that deal I was talking about in the Senate, because House Speaker Mike Johnson has not promised to give a floor vote on extending Obamacare subsidies. Just listen to what he said when he was asked that very question at a press conference yesterday.
No, because we did our job, and I'm not part of the negotiation. The House did its job on September 19th. I'm not promising anybody anything. I'm going to let this process play out.
So Democrats understandably have some trust issues here. They want a solution and an outcome, not just a vote, especially if they're not even going to get a vote in the House, guys.
All right, Melanie Zanona, thank you very much.
Let's get more on this major flight disruption with Katie Nastro. She's a travel expert with Going.com. Katie, first of all, just put into context. We are back with a tragic story from the sports world. The NFL and Dallas Cowboys are remembering defensive end Marshawn Kneeland, who died by suicide. Police in Texas say the 24-year-old second-year player was found dead early Thursday morning following a police chase. NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler reports.
A shocking loss rocking the NFL. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound following a police chase late Wednesday night, Frisco police say. The 24-year-old's vehicle evaded state troopers during a brief pursuit, officials say, crashing near the team's headquarters. Kneeland fled the scene on foot. During the search, authorities were told Kneeland had expressed suicidal ideations. Dispatch audio indicates Kneeland's girlfriend called police.
She's saying he is armed and has a history of mental illness, and her quote was, "He will end it all."
The audio later reveals he allegedly sent a message to his family.
A group text saying anything by concern for his welfare.
Kneeland played at Western Michigan University. He was in his second season with the Cowboys. His cousin remembering him as so much more than a football player.
He was really all about family. He had an infectious smile, a great laugh, just a boisterous personality. Physically, he was a big guy, but talking to him, he was just very humble.
The team and the football world mourning the promising young talent.
And that was Ryan Chandler reporting. The Dallas Cowboys are remembering Kneeland as a beloved teammate. His agent says that Kneeland poured his heart into every snap and every moment on the field. If you or someone you know is struggling, you can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at number 988.
Well, staying with news from the sports world, former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones is pleading not guilty to the charges filed against him in the federal gambling cases that have rocked the league. Jones is facing charges in 2 separate cases. In one case, prosecutors say Jones allegedly provided insider information on player injuries to gamblers. In the other, he's accused of profiting from rigged poker games. Jones is currently free on a $200,000 bond. His court-appointed lawyer told the judge Jones may engage in plea negotiations with prosecutors. He is due back in court later this month.
Early Thursday morning, firefighters in Miami responded to a massive house fire in one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods. These devastating images show the home of Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra. It took 8 hours to put out the fire. No one was home and no one was hurt. It was just a couple of weeks ago that the Heat players actually attended a backyard barbecue at the newly renovated home. Now it appears everything has been lost. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has the details.
The powerful blaze was captured on camera.
You've got a very large house. The fire is in the rear.
Investigators say firefighters raced to the multi-million-dollar home of Miami Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra. The house already engulfed in flames, with video showing the roof caved in.
We found fire that was as tall as the trees. We also entailed protecting all surrounding homes so that there were no other structures incorporated into this fire. It remained as a single-family home.
No one was injured, and so far authorities have not announced any cause.
There's Spoelstra upset.
Spoelstra is one of the biggest names in basketball. He led LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh on back-to-back title runs and was just named head coach for Team USA. Spoelstra was with the Heat in Denver and then seen hours later back in Miami, appearing to be in the same clothes, watching his home burn down before even the sun was up. This is one of Miami's ritziest neighborhoods, homes hidden behind fences and greenery, which authorities say actually made it harder to save this property.
Due to the privacy wall and a lot of the tree cover, it was very difficult to access with only one point of entry.
Now the home has been largely reduced to rubble. The smell of smoke still lingering in the air as the investigation continues. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News, Miami.
Now let's get to what's making headlines around the world this morning, starting with the latest on the war in Ukraine.
NBC News correspondent Danielle Hamamjian joined us with our world news in 60 seconds. Danielle, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. And peace between Ukraine and Russia after nearly 1,400 days of war remains elusive. The Ukrainian military says it struck a major oil refinery in Russia earlier this week. That refinery is the largest producer of fuel in the region. The goal of those long-range drone strikes to deprive Moscow of oil export revenues, which help pay for the war. Russian officials did not confirm the attack. Over to Kazakhstan now, which is about to become the latest country to join the Abraham Accords. This is an agreement between Israel and Arab and Muslim majority countries to normalize relations. In this case, however, it is a largely symbolic move. Kazakhstan has had diplomatic ties with Israel since the early 90s and is nowhere near as close geographically as the other countries who've signed on, such as Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, and the UAE. And finally, welcome aboard not just any train, but La Dolce Vita Orient Express, where Agatha Christie meets Michelin star dining. Italy is looking to revive luxury train travel experience. Think slow-moving, polished brass, jazz in the lounge, and staff on call for your every need. And this can be yours on your way to Tuscany or Sicily for just $4,000. And you guys, that's just for one night.
Oh.
Sign me up.
So wow. That is luxury. The murder costs extra.
Yeah. God, it looks gorgeous, though. Thanks, Danielle.
Coming up, a $10 million verdict for a first-grade teacher who sued the school's former assistant principal after she was shot by her 6-year-old student.
When we come back, more on the jury's decision and what's next for the case. You're watching Morning News Now. We are back now with the major verdict in a Virginia courthouse yesterday that's awarding a first-grade teacher millions of dollars. Abigail Zwerner sued after she was shot by a 6-year-old student in her classroom at school back in 2023, claiming the former assistant principal didn't do enough to stop it. NBC News senior national correspondent Stephanie Gosk has the latest.
In Virginia civil court,
we, the jury, on the issues joined, find in favor of the plaintiff.
The jury deciding former assistant principal Ebony Parker could have done more, finding her actions in 2023 grossly negligent when a 6-year-old brought a gun to school and shot Abigail Zwerner, his first-grade teacher. These body cam videos capturing the chaotic moments after the shooting. Zwerner, who lives with the bullet still lodged next to her spine, was awarded $10 million. Her attorneys reacting to the decision moments later.
She's smiling, her mother's smiling, and her sister's crying.
The less than 2-week trial included dramatic testimony from Zwerner herself.
I thought I had died.
Other teachers also took the stand, testifying how they warned the assistant principal multiple times.
How many times did you tell Dr. Parker?
3 times.
Defense tried to argue that even with those warnings, no one could have predicted what would happen.
It was a tragedy that until that day was unprecedented, it was unthinkable, and it was unforeseeable.
But school shootings are tragedies that do happen in this country, and this case may broaden who is considered accountable.
This case was a test case, and we're likely to see more litigation when there are school shootings, trying to hold the school and others responsible.
The child's mother is in prison, serving nearly 4 years for gun charges and child neglect. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
For more on this verdict, let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Angela Senadella. Angela, good morning. Always great to see you. So right there, I think one of the sort of hallmarks of what this means moving forward was just mentioned when Steph said that this could broaden who is considered accountable. Walk us through what you think that means.
So I think there will be a large impact here, but not necessarily in the traditional way that precedent has. I think the facts of this case are so egregious, so unusual, it's not going to be a cookie-cutter precedent that can be applied to facts moving forward. But where I do think it'll have this massive impact is on this concept of foreseeability. So as you saw, one of the defense's largest arguments here was that this was just so beyond the bounds of imagination that a 6-year-old could bring a gun to school and could shoot somebody. And because the defense argued there was no foreseeability, they argued there was no liability. But now that this has happened and it's really gone through the national news cycle, every elementary school in America is aware that this can happen. So moving forward, no defense lawyer can really use that again, saying this is just so unforeseeable, we couldn't possibly imagined it, which then also does broaden the liability. It means more people will bring lawsuits. I mean, hopefully this won't happen again. But
right. Let's talk about the amount that was awarded, $10 million. What are the factors that go into determining this number?
So that number is interesting because, look, juries can do anything they want almost, right? So you might get a jury that could decide on $10, another on $40 million, which is what she was asking for. But usually they consider two different things. So economic versus non-economic damages. Economic damages are much easier. They're straightforward. Things like medical bills, how much time and expenses did she accrue, time off, what should she be paid to make up for the exact amount of money that she's lost. But then in terms of non-economic damages, about the pain and suffering in her life, her quality of life, that's why we saw her testifying about how hard life is on a day-to-day basis, because that is where the empathy of a jury can really determine how big that payout can be.
So Ebony Parker about to head to court in a separate criminal trial. If she's found guilty there, how does that impact this $10 million reward here?
So it is very interesting because in general, you see lawyers only suing people who have deep pockets for a reason, right? And that's because you can only sue if there's money, because there's no point in getting a judgment against someone who doesn't have it. So right now, she's being defended by the insurance company. And so that insurance company would be able to pay out this amount of money. But we all know that insurance companies have their limits. And likely in their policy is that if there is criminal liability, criminal culpability, that could be outside the bounds of insurance coverage. So if she's found criminally responsible, then it's possible the insurance company would say, well, we're not paying out anymore. And then Abigail Werner would not have any money.
All right. Wow. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Angela. Well, coming up on Morning News Now, a festive frenzy over Starbucks' new holiday cup.
Do you want to establish that this is something that is rare, exclusive, and if somebody gets it, they're special?
We're going to have all the excitement behind this very cute merch that's got people lining up before Starbucks even opens. So bear with us. We'll be right back. We're back with a new study that suggests we might be exaggerating what artificial intelligence can really do.
Yeah, researchers looked at hundreds of benchmarks that we currently rely on to track AI's progress and make sure the technology is safe. The study, though, found that those benchmarks tend to oversell AI's performance, and they don't use reliable methods to determine its capabilities.
NBC News AI reporter Jared Perlow joins us now with more on this. He recently did some in-depth reporting on it. Jared, good to have you with us. So, I mean, it sounds like the data from this study shows AI revolution could be moving too fast. As we mentioned, some of the researchers say that basically the benchmarks we use to measure AI's growth are coming up a little bit short. Lay out what they found here in this study.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe before diving into the details, we can zoom out. Like, why are we testing these models? What does a benchmark even mean? So
To simplify it, you can kind of think of these things as like an SAT test for these models. So in order to understand exactly what AI can do today, we have to evaluate it on some sort of test. And these evaluations, these benchmarks, are kind of the most standard way to do it. But they're rife with problems, and we've known that for a long time. Today's research, though, or it came out earlier this week, shows exactly how problematic these tests are. So the researchers looked at 445 of the leading benchmarks, evaluating everything from visual understanding, spatial reasoning, to Russian and Arabic language abilities.
Oh, wow.
And they basically found that the benchmarks often don't study what they purport to study. Or basically, they have very ill-defined goals or very ill-defined concepts at their core. And that's a problem, because if we're trying to understand what AI models can actually do, we want to make sure that what these tests are measuring actually line up with the questions that they involve. And benchmarks are incredibly important in the AI system, or in the AI ecosystem, because this is what research labs use to understand their progress. This is now being codified in law. So if you actually look at the EU's AI Act, it says that model providers, these companies, actually have to evaluate how their models perform against these benchmarks. So if the benchmarks are flawed, that kind of throws into question this whole system that we have.
I know that they laid out some recommendations for how to improve it. What are they?
Yeah, so I think, at the core of it, it's a very simple recommendation, but it's, define what you're actually testing. So some of the more nebulous concepts involved, reasoning or alignment, which basically means like making sure the models do what you want them to do. There are also much more concrete things or issues that the evaluations, the benchmarks can measure, like coding performance or mathematical abilities. Those are kind of really easy to evaluate. But there's, on these more nebulous issues, it's like, how do you even get at something like spatial reasoning or harmlessness, for example? So the researchers say, define what you mean and then measure only what you actually want to target. So in a lot of these benchmarks, you're running into problems where the answers are supposed to be formatted in like really complex ways. And if the model gets the formatting wrong, then it looks like they failed a benchmark. Or, maybe if you're measuring a model's harmlessness, that also involves some degree of like reading comprehension. But what you want to measure is not actually the reading comprehension. You actually want to measure, is the model going to harm you or provide instructions on how to build a bomb or something like that? So really focusing just in on that. And then kind of the last piece is using statistical testing to basically make sure that you're measuring what you actually want to. There's a difference between successful performance and failures. Otherwise, it might just be chance.
One of the biggest concerns is how accurate AI is. So for people who rely on it a lot, especially chatbots, to just kind of ChatGPT to kind of figure out information. What's the best advice to them right now as far as how much they should trust that information, how much more they should look into these things?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the big so what here for everyday users is that anytime you hear some sort of, AI has reached PhD level intelligence, or AI is going to take everybody's jobs, tomorrow, I would take that not with a grain of salt, but like maybe a tablespoon or like a cup of salt. AI is advancing, and it's advancing very quickly. But these benchmarks, what we see in this research is, you really can't trust what you hear, especially in the more headline-grabbing sorts of conclusions. So what I would recommend is, get hands-on with these models. Like really test out for your use cases, whether that's a chatbot, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer kind of consulting AI for your job. Really get in the weeds and actually see what these chatbots can do. And, all these chatbots today have a little disclaimer when you use them that say, like, double check your information. These are known to hallucinate. So I think we're in the early days both of AI and then also AI evaluation.
Yeah, when you search something and you see it's not accurate, you're like, there we go. There's some problems
sometimes,
there.
like, I've had ChatGPT just like do math wrong, even on those like easier ones where you're like, wait, I'm not good at math, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Exactly.
And then it's like, I'm sorry, you're right. And we're like, huh?
Double check. Yeah, exactly.
Jared Perlow, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here on set with us. Well, Thanksgiving is still more than 2 weeks away, but several retailers are already in full holiday mode. Like Starbucks, the coffee giant released its festive drinks, food, and merchandise yesterday. Well, the lineup included this viral bear cup that basically sold out instantly and has everyone talking. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung spoke to one customer who said he woke up before 4 a.m. to try and get one.
I got it. I got the barista mugs.
The holiday season kicking off with a viral craze. After Starbucks unveiled this 20-ounce glass barista cup as part of their holiday line, just hours before it was set to hit store shelves. And it sparked a festive frenzy.
One of them are mine. I will fight you for it.
Social media videos showed customers camping out in order to get their hands on one.
I have no chance.
Including this TikTok user who said several people were already online at 9 p.m. the night before.
I am so happy that I'm not the only Looney Tune.
New York City-based content creator Rob Pepicino was up at 3:30 a.m. to get to his local Starbucks on Staten Island.
Starbucks didn't open until 5 o'clock, so I waited from 4:08 until 5:01 when the lady came to the door.
But despite being third,
We only have one.
no luck.
Behind me, there was like 20 more people that everyone started like freaking out. Nothing comes between me and my sleep. So for me to get up at 3:30 this morning, I thought that, if I was the first 5 people online, I would have got one.
The cup was sold by Starbucks for $29.95, but they are now popping up on resale sites for hundreds of dollars.
I got a Stanley!
It's just the latest cup to cause people to flip their lid. Last year, we saw shoppers storming Targets just to get their hands on Stanley tumblers.
Do you want to establish that this is something that is rare, exclusive, and if somebody gets it, they're special? That is kind of how this works. And that really plays well on social media.
From Stanley to Barista, it seems every holiday season comes with a thirst for a new viral product.
You can't do a promotion in 2025 without thinking about how it's going to play on social media.
Brian Chung, NBC News.
All right, we are now exactly 1 month away until the teams that will take part in this season's college football playoff are revealed.
The first playoff rankings were revealed earlier this week. While it shows us who's currently in the field of 12 teams, there's also a lot of chaos off the field behind the scenes. So
here to help us break it down is NBC News sports reporter Rohan Nadkarni. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I know you spelled out the chaos in an article recently. We're more than 2 months into the season now. If the playoffs started tomorrow, you got Memphis, not even in the top 25, and then Virginia would be. And these are not exactly college football blue bloods. So help us understand what's going on here.
Yeah, we're in the second year now of this expanded 12-team playoff, and the combination of some new rules and the bigger field, I think, is leading to some teams we're not necessarily used to being in the playoff this year. You mentioned Memphis. They're not even ranked in the top 25, but because they're the highest ranked team technically in the American Athletic Conference, they get a guaranteed bid. Virginia is ranked behind Oklahoma and Texas, obviously 2 teams with very passionate fan bases and storied histories. Virginia, because it's the highest ranked team in the ACC, would make the playoff right now. So I think between this bigger field and some rules that kind of guarantee playoff berths for certain teams, we're seeing a little bit of a more strange field than we're used to.
For the second season in a row, the Indiana Hoosiers are a football program to be reckoned with after decades of being overshadowed by the school's basketball program and then their border rival, Ohio State. I just sounded like I knew what I was talking about. How did that happen? Is this a product of the NIL situation?
That's definitely a factor here. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Indiana's coach, Curt Cignetti. He very famously said, during his introductory press conference at Indiana, he said, "I win. Google me." It's that simple. This is someone who I think recruited a lot of players from his previous school, James Madison, to come play at Indiana. So it's not like he just went out and handed out money to all the top players in the country and said, "Come play football at Indiana." He's done a great job coaching that school up. They do have a transfer quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, who's been really, really great for them, one of the better quarterbacks in the country. But this is not just a team that's raiding the transfer portal for the top talent around the country. Coach Cignetti's really coached up the Hoosiers to be one of the better football programs in the country.
So Big Ten's doing well. On the other end, you've got chaos among what's considered college football royalty. You got LSU, Florida, Auburn, plus another Big Ten team, Penn State, that's just crashing and burning this year. They've all fired their coaches. With the transfer portal, NIL in place, is this just what college football is now? It's more surprising. We can't predict what teams are going to do so well.
That's exactly it, Joe. In a sport that's kind of been marked for chaos, known for, frankly, like hijinks, with NIL and the transfer portal, that's only gone up to another degree. The expectations are sky high. Penn State won 2 playoff games last season. They were in the playoff literally not even a full year ago, and they fired their coach after a 3-game losing streak. Brian Kelly, had a lot of success at Notre Dame before coming to LSU. He got let go this year. Florida had one of the top quarterback recruits in the country. The expectations are sky high. The schools and their boosters are putting in more money than ever to basically put together these rosters. So if these coaches, even a 3-game losing streak can get you fired.
All right. Rohan, good to have you with us, breaking it down. We appreciate it. Thank you. Coming up, they're cute and ugly at the same time. Now, those ultra-popular Labubu dolls are the main attraction at a new amusement park.
When we return, we are going to take you to Beijing, a.k.a. Land of the Labubu, where the folks who made the furry monster are hoping to follow in Disney's footsteps. You're watching Morning News Now. Welcome back. We're ending this hour with one of the most popular toys in the world, the Labubu. Those furry little monster toys with big eyes and that slightly creepy, toothy grin. They are turning the Chinese company behind these toys into a billion-dollar powerhouse. Well, now they're taking a page out of Disney's playbook by opening up the first Labubu theme park in Beijing. NBC News International correspondent Janice Mackey-Freyer gives us a look inside.
Say what you will about Labubu. The slightly off-putting monster dolls with enormous eyes that set off a stampede this year.
Holy
by being the collectible that people wanted, simply because everyone wanted to get their hands on one. Social media jammed with videos of lineups, fistfights, and heists.
Which is your favorite?
For collectors like Catherine Zhao, one Labubu clearly wasn't enough.
Have you ever counted?
Yeah, I never counted, because I still have some coming.
That the toothy grinned creatures created by Hong Kong artist Ka-Sing Leung became such a hot commodity has parent company Pop Mart smiling too. Revenue is expected to hit $4.18 billion this year, according to its founder. Sales in the U.S. alone have soared over 1,200%. While there are signs of cracks in the resale market for the figures here, a rare human-sized Labubu sold for $150,000. Before it was foreign culture being imported here, says this auction house director. Now it's Chinese culture being exported so explosively, and nobody expected it. Pop Mart is intent on leveraging that to make the monster into a cultural icon that can last. Taking a page from the Disney playbook for new toys, animated movies, and Disney-style theme parks. Pop Mart's founder outright saying, "We've learned from Disney for a long time," noting its ability to have intellectual property, like a popular character, last a century.
This is Popland, where the whole Labubu craze really goes next level.
Spanning 10 acres within Beijing's biggest park, this for now is the world's only Popland. There are passports on arrival, designated selfie spots, and a stage show each day where oversized Labubus come to life.
And of course, merchandise. But with a lot of the Labubu stuff, it's only on display. You still have to order it online.
China's government has been leaning into the craze as a soft power win. Xinhua, the state news agency, said Labubu shows, quote, culture in a language the world can understand, to see, quote, cool China. It's why police have been actively cracking down on poor quality fake versions of the toy, known as Lafufus, being sold into a booming black market. Pop Mart has also boosted production to meet demand and to build Labubu loyalty. But whether Labubu will be around in 100 years isn't clear. Some business analysts are skeptical of falling sales, and trends, after all, tend to move on.
People are always going to want to invest in their favorite brands. They're going to want to invest in their favorite figures. Consumers should know that the collectibles industry itself is going nowhere.
For now, it seems neither are Labubus. Creepy or cute, the toys have made Pop Mart more valuable than the makers of Transformers, Barbie, and Hello Kitty combined. Nine-toothed titans building an empire. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
All right, wow. Well, look at that. I think we got to send Brian Chung there. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Savannah Sellers. Joe will be back with us in a bit. Right now on Morning News Now, grounded confusion at airports across America this morning. Hundreds of flights already canceled from coast to coast today after the FAA announced a 10% cut to air traffic as that record-breaking government shutdown in Washington rolls on. What travelers need to know this morning. Plus, a legal win for those in dire need of food assistance as a federal judge orders the Trump administration to deliver SNAP payments to states today. But the White House is already pushing back. We've got the latest. Shedding costs, some welcome news for many Americans on popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound. We'll dig into the fine print of the Trump administration's new big pharma deal to lower price tags and how much patients could actually save on the shot. Also this morning, the urgent operation in China to bring back 3 astronauts stranded at the country's space station after debris struck their return capsule. Plus, the scene around 30 Rock is about to get a whole lot more festive when we are expecting the famed Rockefeller Center Christmas tree to roll into town. Our own Joe is going to introduce us to the upstate New York family, helping to make the seasons bright for millions who come visit us right here in New York City this holiday season. I don't have to tell you how excited I am about that. We're going to begin this hour, though, with the record-long government shutdown triggering a travel nightmare just before the holiday rush. Airlines have already canceled hundreds of flights that were set to take off today after federal officials ordered a 10% reduction in traffic at 40 major airports. Officials warn things will only get worse if the shutdown drags on. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa has the latest from United Airlines Operations Center. That's just outside Chicago. Maggie, good morning.
Hey there, from literally the room where it happens, the room where these decisions are made. United Airlines, for its part, already canceling 188 flights nationwide today alone. A lot of those in and out of Chicago. O'Hare, of course, is a major hub. Now, airlines stressing to us they can absorb this government-related shutdown by rebooking passengers on other flights, at least for now.
This morning, the record-setting dysfunction on Capitol Hill causing new layers of chaos at airports across the country. The nation's 4 largest airlines already canceling hundreds of flights across 40 airports in high-traffic areas. Passengers furious.
I think the government's playing with people's lives.
Very overwhelming. It's not fair for all the people working.
The FAA hoping today's 4% cut in flights will ease the burden on air traffic controllers who are still working without pay 38 days into the government shutdown.
No one can sustain that type of financial insecurity for this long. People are taking second jobs and then they're resigning as well.
If the shutdown drags on, the agency planning to ramp up mandated flight reductions to 6% Tuesday and 10% by next Friday, saying safety is their main concern.
This was a data-driven decision to make the right calls, to get ahead of any issues that could happen, in the airspace that could have negative consequences.
Some airlines are offering refunds or waivers for passengers to rebook, saying they're working to notify those who are on impacted flights as quickly as possible.
As soon as a cancellation gets put in, we broadcast that to the people that are on the flight. If you are on a canceled flight, our systems automatically rebook you to the next available flight.
Both the FAA and the airlines say passengers should still feel confident getting on a plane.
Flying is 100% safe. It absolutely is. We slow things down to ensure that safety.
With the Thanksgiving travel rush fast approaching, the timing couldn't be worse.
That's going to really cause a lot of hang-ups and a lot of missed flights.
So a question we've been getting a lot this morning. Airlines stressing they're working to give passengers days, plural, notice through their apps and through their websites about these canceled flights. And for instance, United has already issued all cancellations through Sunday. So if you're traveling on United over the weekend and your flight is still on, reps say you should be fine. That said, they point out you could still encounter delays thanks to staffing shortages among air traffic controllers and TSA workers. Another problem expected to get worse the longer this shutdown goes.
All right.
Back to you.
Maggie Vespa, thank you so much. Well, here to talk more about this major travel disruption and what you can do to prepare, our friend NBC News consumer investigative correspondent Vicki Nguyen. I think she's actually our senior consumer investigative correspondent, and she's here. She's on the case.
Hi.
Vicki, good morning. Okay, so what do you need to know if, like you need to be on a plane in the next few days?
Okay, so this is really unprecedented. Late last night, the Department of Transportation, Savannah, said they're going to start with a 4% reduction today, but it's going to ramp up to 10% by next Friday. According to Going.com, that's 200,000 seats per day that will be impacted by next Friday.
Wow.
It's major. So what you really need to do is be in touch with your airline. The good news is the major airlines are responding. America, Delta, United, Southwest, they've all said you can get a full refund if they cancel your flight, but also if you cancel your flight without a penalty. And this includes those basic economy fares like you can never get your money back for, which is great.
Totally.
Alaska Airlines is still saying only if they cancel your flight, and they're referring folks to the website. I would say no matter what airline you're flying, be in touch, be aware, and know that if your flight is significantly delayed by law, you are entitled to a refund. So if they try to give you a credit, you can say, no, thank you. Give me my monies back.
That's such a good reminder. If you are traveling in the next few days, like I know you are, my husband is, will you'll know if your flight's impacted, and how early do we think you'll know?
So this is why you have to download the airline's app. You won't really know. It's kind of like a day by day. This is such a fluctuating situation. So make sure you've got the airline app. Also the TSA app. It's the My TSA app. It is supposed to tell you the wait times at the various airports. Earlier this week, there were reports people were waiting 5 hours at the Houston airport. Al Roker, though, earlier on the Today Show said that because of the government shutdown, that My TSA app isn't as accurate as it normally is. But I'm just trying to help you layer. So you've got the airline app that tells you your boarding time. That's your quickest way to customer service. You've got the My TSA app. You are also being flexible and being patient and thinking about pivoting. Is there a train station near you? Hertz Rent-A-Cars, they said that they have seen a spike of 20% already for just this weekend in one-way car rentals. So look at your alternate routes.
Very good tips there. Do we know which parts of the country are going to be most impacted?
So this is really interesting. You looked at that big map that you showed. We've got all 3 airports in the New York area: San Francisco, LAX, of course, Atlanta, O'Hare, Dallas.
That looks like all the airports.
Yeah, these airports account for about 70% of flights that are either arriving or departing from these 40 airports. So it is significant. The good news here, United is saying its hub-to-hub flights won't be affected. United, Delta, American also saying their long-haul flights, think cross-country, as well as their international flights, won't be affected. However, if you have a flight and you're looking at the seat map, which is why you need the app, Katie Nastro at going.com says if it's pretty empty, your flight could be on the chopping block. If your flight is full, that's a safe point, right? They're not as likely to cut that flight. Clint Henderson over at The Points Guy says that most airlines will prioritize their hub-to-hub flights. So if you can look up, okay, what cities am I flying? Are they major cities? You might have a little peace of mind in that way.
Really quickly, I know we don't know yet when the government shutdown is going to come to an end and maybe help all this out, but what does this mean for Thanksgiving when so many of us are traveling? You can avoid it basically until then, maybe.
Thanksgiving right around the corner. If you can, change your flight to the first flight of the day. Flights that leave between 5 and 8 a.m. are half as likely to be delayed as flights that leave after 9 a.m. If you can move it, do it. Also use a credit card that has trip protection, and consider your backup plans. Is this a year that maybe you could drive? It'll be a little longer, but on the flip side, gas prices are down. They're $3.08 on average per gallon. That's lower than they were this time last year. Just flexibility and patience are the key words for this travel season right now.
Oh, that sounds totally doable, right? Vicki, thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, well, in Washington, Senate Republicans are pushing for a new plan to reopen the government. But with the stalemate over federal funding now entering day 38, lawmakers are still pointing fingers, and that is casting doubt on when the shutdown will really end.
We're here begging for a negotiation, and our Republican partners are refusing to talk to us.
How much more do Americans have to endure before Democrats are satisfied?
NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us with the latest. Ryan, good morning. So lawmakers have now voted 14 times on this House-passed funding patch. Every single time it's failed. What is different about this vote that we think could potentially mean an outcome is any different here?
So it is a technical change, Savannah, and essentially what the Senate is going to do today is prep a procedural vote using the existing votes that they've used before as a vehicle that could ultimately become a package that could lead to the end of the government shutdown. And they're kind of prepping this in anticipation of a bipartisan group of rank-and-file senators emerging with some sort of a package that they think could ultimately get 60 votes. So this is kind of setting the stage for those negotiations, the belief that there's at least some progress being made. But I do have to caution you, even though they're taking this procedural step, there is no deal yet. The talks continue. They are making a little bit of progress here and there, but there is the real possibility that this shutdown is going to continue into next week, and it still remains a real possibility that it could extend all the way up to Thanksgiving, which could be a travel nightmare as a result.
For that answer. Democrats also have been holding out for Republicans to make a concession, specifically right on the future of these expiring Obamacare subsidies. That, as you're mentioning, is one of the things that's at the heart of all of this, is this healthcare battle, whether to deal with it now, whether to deal with it after the government is back open. Is there any progress on those negotiations?
That's probably the biggest thing holding all of this up, Savannah, and that's that Republicans simply cannot guarantee Democrats that they will make an effort to extend these affordable tax credit subsidies even for a month, let alone for a year or indefinitely, as Democrats would prefer them to do. There's a possibility that they could get the Senate to agree to it, but yesterday Speaker Mike Johnson made it very clear that there's no guarantee that the House would vote yes on a package that includes the extension of those subsidies. It's something that congressional Republicans, for the most part, are opposed to. They think that Obamacare doesn't work. They want to reform it completely, but they don't really have a plan to fix it. So this remains the sticking point. This is the biggest reason that we are in the shutdown, that Democrats are insistent that those premium subsidies need to be extended, and Republicans just aren't interested in doing it yet. Hence the reason the government's been shut down for 38 days.
Ryan, while all this plays out, we've talked a lot at length, of course, already this hour about the impacts at airports. The other way, if you're not a government employee that you're really feeling this, are these SNAP benefits. Food banks say they're seeing long lines of families in need. What is the latest there?
So a judge in Rhode Island yesterday ruled and really demanded that the Trump administration release all of the funds for all SNAP benefit recipients across the country, 42 million, by noon today. He said that the administration was holding up those fundings based on political purposes, and that the folks that are entitled to these benefits have gone for too long without them. But the Trump administration is insistent that they don't have the authority to do so as a result of the shutdown. They are challenging this ruling. They're appealing it to a higher court. So that means if you're someone who is expecting these benefits, there is no certainty that you will get them anytime soon. The federal government did release a portion of that funding through contingency funds, and there are some states that are trying to fill that gap to make sure people get the resources they need. But right now, if you're caught in the middle of all of this, there's really no end in sight to this as the battles continue on Capitol Hill.
Ryan Nobles, thank you so much. Well, let's turn now to Louisville, Kentucky, where the community is still reeling after that devastating cargo plane crash that left 13 people dead. Several others are still unaccounted for. Last night, hundreds gathered to mourn as investigators raced to figure out what went wrong in the final moments of UPS Flight 2976. NBC News senior correspondent Tom Costello, of course, covers aviation for us, and he has the latest details. Tom, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So, in fact, the third airport runway here in Louisville is operational again. The NTSB handing control of that back over to the airport. UPS aircraft back in the air, trying to hit their full stride again. Separately, investigators going through every single piece of debris, looking for clues as this community really tries to come to terms with the scope of this disaster.
Heartbreak and raw emotion in Louisville.
He's like an angel on earth.
Hundreds gathered overnight to pray for the 9 still missing and honor the 13 lives lost. Among the victims, the 3 UPS pilots on that cargo jet, Captain Richard Waterberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and International Relief Officer Captain Dana Diamond. Investigators begin today their 4th day combing through the half-mile debris field. The NTSB confirming the plane's black boxes, the flight data and cockpit voice recorders, were successfully downloaded. On them, 63 hours of data, including 23 previous flights and 2 hours of cockpit conversations.
Which means that we will have even more information to help paint a comprehensive picture.
Early readings show the MD-11 cargo jet was just 475 feet up, moving at 183 knots, 210 miles per hour, seconds before impact. The plane crashed into several businesses, with witnesses running for their lives. Investigators focusing on the left side engine. Video shows it detaching before the fire. They're also reviewing the 34-year-old plane's 6-week maintenance work in San Antonio. An FAA report shows that inspection found corrosion in the center bilge area below the fuel tank and a crack in an upper fuel tank support beam requiring repair. Cracks and corrosion are common in heavy plane maintenance.
Do you know whether at that maintenance facility they looked at the engine?
I do not yet. I know that some work has been done around that area.
The NTSB says it will look at every piece of documentation for any possible failure that could explain the loss of the engine. For now, recovery of the missing remains the top priority.
The NTSB board member Inman telling me that they will not hesitate if they discover any issue that could extend beyond this one aircraft. If there's something they see that could pose a threat to the entire fleet, the NTSB will urge the FAA to issue a worldwide bulletin. At this moment, though, so far, they don't see that, but this is in the earliest stages of the investigation. Back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you very much for the latest. Well, we are learning more details this morning about the tragic death of Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland, who died by suicide early Thursday morning. Police say the second-year NFL player took his own life following a police pursuit after officials say Kneeland committed a traffic violation. NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler has the latest from Frisco, Texas, as fellow players and fans remember Kneeland's life.
Well, it's a devastating loss for Dallas, for the NFL, for his friends and family. This all happened Wednesday night into Thursday morning as dispatchers conveyed grave concerns about Kneeland's welfare. His girlfriend warning police before his death he was armed and could harm himself. This also happened just days after a career high for Kneeland, leaving the football world just trying to make sense of a tragic passing.
Overnight, tributes for a promising young football player gone too soon. Kneeland found dead Thursday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. According to police, officials were trying to find a vehicle after a traffic violation, then found it crashed near Cowboys headquarters. Frisco PD say Kneeland fled the scene on foot.
We were talking to the girlfriend. Her quote was, "He will end it all."
Kneeland's cousin telling NBC News he was a gentle spirit.
He was a baby giant, but he left a big impact on our family.
Speaking with his cousin Nicole there, she gave a candid look into what it was like to be this young man. He was not only navigating the immense professional pressure of the NFL, but was also dealing with the personal grief of losing his mother just last year, who she described as his rock. And we should say, if you or anybody else is in crisis and needs help, help is out there. You can call the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Back to you.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Well, a jury has come to a decision in the closely watched D.C. trial of the man known as Sandwich Guy. You might remember this moment in August where 37-year-old Sean Dunn threw a Subway foot-long sandwich at a Border Patrol agent in the nation's capital. Dunn became a symbol of resistance to the Trump administration's policy of sending federal troops to Washington. Yesterday, jurors found him not guilty of misdemeanor assault, and a person familiar with jury lunches told NBC News that they enjoyed sandwiches for lunch while deliberating the verdict. I'm not sure we all needed that information, but there you go. Angie Lassman's here with your weather. Angie, good morning.
Good
Give
morning.
us our forecast. Move us on from sandwiches, please.
Yes,
Quickly.
of course. I've got a lot to talk about weather-wise. Savannah, it's going to be a busy kind of couple of days, and we're really going to get a taste of winter here as we roll into next week. It's finally Friday, so weekend upon us, and this is what we're going to deal with in the short term. We've got some of these showers kind of stretched across the Great Lakes, and this is a storm system that's going to be on the move and leave us with the potential for some stronger storms later today across the Tennessee Valley, specifically Nashville. Hail, wind gusts, and even a tornado or two is on the table here as we get into the second half of the day. And then notice as we look ahead to tomorrow, some of that rain slides through the northeast. We start to clear out for the later part of the day. It's kind of a quick mover. And then we turn our attention to this next storm system that's going to bring some rain and some snow to parts of the Great Lakes. So heads up for folks there. We will see those chillier temperatures. All of the frost and freeze alerts have expired at this time, but notice that we've still got temperatures this morning into the 40s, into the low 40s, 20s, and some higher elevation areas. Pittsburgh waking up this morning at 37 degrees. And that's just setting the stage for the really cold air that's going to head our way. Here's what a typical polar vortex kind of looks like. Of course, this is at the pole. You see kind of confined all that air, cold air, I should say, right at the pole. But sometimes you get a bit of a wavy pattern, and this is what we're setting up with right now. So this limb essentially is going to kind of slide off as that low sinks farther to the south, and it drives all of that Arctic air essentially into parts of southern Canada, and then parts of the eastern half of the United States. And this is going to get as far south as the Gulf. So 10s, 20s, 30s. If you live in the Midwest, wind chills Monday morning into the single digits. It's going to be bitter cold for a lot of folks. We also have the daytime temperatures only reaching into the 20s. The the 30s and the 40s. And it stays that way essentially into Tuesday. Now, all that cold air is going to work across the Great Lakes as well. And we've got really warm temperatures for the water there. That means that, of course, lake effect snow machine turns on, and we've got upwards of, maybe a foot
already.
in some spots already. It'll be quite interesting here as we get into next week, Savannah. We could see some record temperatures across the southeast for earliest freeze in some spots.
Angie, I'm going to give our viewers some behind-the-scenes information.
Yeah.
So you used to be on a schedule where you got up in the middle of the night. So it would make sense then if something like this happened. However, you don't have to do that anymore.
Shoes on. Listen.
So how did this happen? One is shiny and one is not.
Okay, I don't know. I have it in my desk drawer, and I just grabbed the nude pumps, and here we are
It's a good
with
thing
two
you have
different
nice
kinds.
calves.
Oh, thank God. We'll see what the internet has to say. They're unforgiving at times.
I'm dying about
Here's the problem with this. This is not the first time I've done this. I regularly have this problem, even with my sneakers at home.
What?
A couple days ago, I walked out of the house, 2 different Sambas on. I don't know. Who cares? Maybe it's a new trend.
Who cares? I don't know who cares.
You didn't even notice until just now.
Well, you're just a little far when you start, and then you come here and you don't have shoes. It's quite noticeable.
This really gives an inside look at my personality, honestly. It all makes sense if you know me.
It's Friday.
It's Friday after all.
There you go. All right, there's more to come on this Friday morning News Now, including when millions of New Yorkers and travelers alike will finally be able to feast their eyes on this year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. But first, after the break, more time in space is expected for those 3 Chinese astronauts stranded above Earth after their vessel was hit by space debris. China's urgent race against time to get the crew home. That's next. Stick around. Here's one more shot of Angie's shoes.
You want to trade shoes?
Sure.
Come on, give me one of yours. Then we can both be mixed match.
I'm wearing a silver patent.
Even better.
Welcome back. 3 Chinese astronauts are now settling in for a longer stay in space after officials said their spacecraft was hit by space debris. The crew was due to return to Earth this week, but China's space agency is now delaying their return while it carries out a damage assessment. NBC News international correspondent Janice Mackey-Freyer has more on this for us. Janice, good morning.
Good morning. The Chinese astronauts were supposed to be back on Earth by now. And while the situation is different from the one that delayed 2 NASA astronauts by nearly 10 months, it isn't yet clear how or when this Chinese crew will return.
This morning, a waiting game in outer space. China's Shenzhou 20 manned space mission postponing its return to Earth indefinitely after their spacecraft was hit by what Chinese officials called a small piece of orbital debris. China's space agency saying in a statement that safety checks are underway, but that they'll hold off on their return, which was scheduled for Wednesday. The 3-man crew just finished a 6-month rotation aboard the Tiangong space station. The youngest on board, Wang Jie, saying, "Please rest assured that we are feeling great." But these delays can take a toll. American astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams were in space for nearly 10 months. The NASA astronauts who came back in March, reflecting on their return to Earth on the Today Show in April.
Gravity makes you tired.
It was just really nice to lay down in a bed. We hadn't done that for many months.
On this mission, the Chinese crew were preparing to hand over the controls, happily greeting their replacements, even sharing chicken wings and steak in a newly delivered oven. The new commander, Zhonglu, promising to make the Chinese space station, quote, the most suitable paradise in the universe. But here on Earth, Chinese teams are now working to get the astronauts back, running drills in the desert in Inner Mongolia. This Chinese delay highlighting the danger of increasing amounts of space debris, known as space junk.
Spacecraft do get debris hits. I worked on the Hubble Space Telescope during my missions, and there was evidence on the telescope of debris strikes. Space shuttle would get hit. The space station has been hit.
The risks only growing as the skies above Earth become more crowded.
So plan B is to use the spacecraft that the next crew was planning to take back, and then at some point they would send another one up. There are regular supply missions, and so far neither the astronauts nor Chinese officials seem to be in a hurry, or are they willing to take any chances with a spacecraft that might be too damaged to make the journey back safely. Joe?
All right, Janice, thank you.
Let's head to the Middle East now, where Israel has launched a new round of airstrikes on South Lebanon.
NBC News correspondent Danielle Hamamjian joins us with our world news in 60 seconds. Danielle, good morning.
Good morning, guys. And that's right. There are growing fears now that Israel will resume a full-blown bombing campaign in southern Lebanon. On Thursday, the Israeli military issued several evacuation orders, then carried out heavy strikes on southern Lebanon. Israel claims Hezbollah is trying to rebuild its military capabilities. Remember that a year ago, an agreement to end the fighting was reached between Israel and the armed group Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran. Over to China now, where state media is reporting that the country has commissioned its largest aircraft carrier. Experts say the Fujian, as it's called, will help extend what is already the world's largest navy far beyond its own waters. And finally, I'll leave you with a message from world leaders gathered at the UN Climate Summit. Standing on the edge of Brazil's Amazon rainforest, they warn that time is running short for urgent and decisive action to stop the worst effects of climate change. This is happening ahead of the formal climate talks next week, but absent from the preliminary gathering, the planet's three biggest polluters: India, China, and the United States. Guys, back to you.
Danielle, thank you so much. Coming up, a major legal win for Abby Zwerner this morning in a civil case that has gripped the nation for weeks.
Yeah, the massive multi-million-dollar payout for the Virginia elementary school teacher who was shot by her 6-year-old student, and the separate criminal trial that begins in just a few days from now. Stay with us. That's up next. We're back now with a major legal victory for Abigail Zwerner. She's the elementary school teacher who was seriously injured after a 6-year-old student fired a gun at her back in 2023.
Yesterday, a Virginia jury awarded her millions of dollars in damages, finding the school's former assistant principal liable for those injuries. NBC News senior national correspondent Stephanie Gosk has been following this and is here with all the details. Steph, good morning.
Hi, Joe and Savannah. Good morning. The jury found that Ebony Parker was grossly negligent that day in January 2023 after multiple teachers testified they warned her a student might have a gun and she did not take action.
And everyone who has been.
Abby Zwerner still bears the scars from the day she was shot by her first-grade student. But in this Virginia civil courtroom, a legal victory, with the jury awarding Zwerner millions in damages.
We, the jury, on the issues joined, find in favor of the plaintiff, Abigail Zwerner, and assess her damages at $10 million.
Zwerner's eyes filled with tears after the verdict was read. Former Rich Neck Elementary School assistant principal Ebony Parker held liable, the jury finding Parker's gross negligence led to the shooting.
I was convinced that there was a gun.
2 Rich Neck Elementary School teachers testified they warned Parker that the student may be carrying a gun, and they said Parker did not act. Body camera and surveillance video shown in court captured the chaos after the student pulled the trigger, the bullet striking Zwerner's hand before lodging in her chest. The defense tried to argue that even with warnings, no one could have predicted what would happen.
It was a tragedy that until that day was unprecedented, it was unthinkable, and it was unforeseeable.
I thought I was dying. Almost 3 years later, Zwerner testified she's been unable to work while recovering from yet another surgery on her hand. She said her relationships have been altered too.
I still feel connected and close, but it's also that feeling of distance, a little numbness.
Legal experts say the rare instance of an administrator being held liable for a school shooting could set a new precedent.
Now we're looking at teachers, administrators, anybody who had reason to know that the shooting could occur and did nothing to stop it. This is a major shift in the legal world.
Zwerner standing arm in arm with her mother as her lawyers applauded the verdict.
She's smiling, her mother's smiling, and her sister's crying. I think that tells you all you need to know.
So Ebony Parker faces 8 charges of child negligence. Each one of those charges carries a sentence of 5 years. So if she's convicted, she may face time behind bars. We reached out to her and her attorney. What's interesting is she has not actually entered a plea in this case yet. They've not responded to our request for comment.
Okay. Thanks, Steph. Appreciate it. Now for a closer look at what's making news in the world of politics this morning, starting with Republicans sounding the alarm after this week's big win for the Democrats among Latino voters.
We are joined by NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona. Hey, Mel, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Joe and Savannah. We begin with alarm bells ringing inside the GOP over their standing with Latino voters. While President Trump did make some significant gains among Latino voters in 2024, those gains were reversed in governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia this week. One Hispanic resident in New Jersey told NBC News she voted for Trump last year, but she regrets her vote because of how Trump has carried out his immigration agenda. So she backed the Democratic candidate on Tuesday instead. Republican Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar said this week should be a, quote, wake-up call for her own party, while Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez told me the GOP needs a, quote, course correction on immigration. But Speaker Mike Johnson dismissed concerns about the GOP's performance in next year's midterms, saying Trump's coalition will hold. Next, a federal judge is taking a swipe at the prosecutors in the James Comey criminal case. Comey, a former FBI director who has been critical of Trump, was indicted in September on one count of making a false statement and one count of obstructing a congressional proceeding. During a hearing on the case this week, the federal judge voiced concerns about the way that prosecutors are handling the evidence, saying it's not a traditional case and that they appear to be taking an indict first, investigate later approach. Attorneys for Comey have argued the case should be dismissed because it's vindictive and was brought at the behest of Donald Trump. And finally, in other court-related news, federal agents in Chicago may soon be prohibited from using force against peaceful protesters and the media. A lawsuit had alleged that federal agents used excessive force in their immigration crackdown in Chicago. And in a preliminary injunction, a judge ruled that the current practices violate constitutional rights. The judge said she will order agents to stop using certain riot control techniques and to wear body cameras. The Trump administration is expected to repeal the ruling. And that's what's making news in politics this morning, guys.
All right, Mel, thank you. Well, as the dust settles from Tuesday's elections, we wanted to bring you the story of one very tight local race in Nevada that came from the luck of the draw. Ben Marjat from our NBC affiliate in Reno has the deal.
It doesn't get more Nevada than this. There's a tie in an election. Both candidates got exactly 67 votes. What better way to break the tie than a deck of cards?
Thank you all for being here for this little piece of history in Washington.
Two men from the tiny town of Gerlach with their fate in this deck.
This is an exercise in democracy that we wouldn't miss.
The tie had to be broken. It had to be. This is a legal question that needed to get solved.
Good coin toss. Schrinzel.
Yes.
You will draw the first card.
Very well. Sure.
All right. Keep it face down there. Great. Ready, go. Oh, Trustee Schrinzel.
Congratulations.
Full term. No more duel to the death.
There.
Winner Seth Schrenzel drew the higher card, a 7.
This is the most Nevada thing ever. There is no other state more appropriate to solve an official election via a card draw.
His prize, serving a full term on the Gerlach General Improvement District, which provides water, sewer, trash services, and more. Carl Kopech drew a 5.
Expectations are pre-planned disappointments, as I've learned.
Okay.
The stakes relatively low. Both have served on the Gerlach GID since the 2024 election. This tiebreak determined that Schrenzel will serve a full term through 2028 and Kopech a partial term through 2026, but he plans more.
I'm announcing today my candidacy for re-election.
The last tie in Washoe County was in 2018, but one of the candidates didn't show up, so the other won by default. The last tie broken by a high card was nearly 20 years ago. Registrar Andrew McDonald.
Every single vote matters, and we cast.
Our thanks to Ben Marjat for that report. Well, coming up, a welcome sigh of relief for some of the millions of Americans on popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound.
Yeah, the new big pharma deal from the Trump administration that could cut costs for patients to pay those sky-high price tags. It's next on Morning News Now. We're back with a major announcement concerning those popular weight loss drugs. President Trump announced a deal yesterday that will expand access to drugs like Zepbound and Wegovy and lower the costs for millions of Americans. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz explains.
President Trump announcing a deal with drug makers Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk aimed at lowering the cost of popular weight loss drugs Zepbound and Wegovy.
This is tremendous savings.
And also making this announcement about the federal government's role in making those drugs more accessible for patients who meet certain medical criteria.
Medicare and Medicaid will finally cover the cost of these weight loss drugs for millions of patients suffering from obesity.
Later next year, the White House says eligible Medicare recipients won't pay more than $50 a month for the drugs. And for Medicaid recipients whose states opt in, the cost to patients could be zero.
It's a big deal.
For those like Jen Barcone in Los Angeles who pays out of pocket for Eli Lilly's Zepbound, savings could begin in January.
How much are you currently paying for this every month?
$600.
Is that a stretch for your family?
Absolutely. I mean, $600 a month is more than our car payment.
Barcone has lost 35 pounds since she began taking the drug 9 months ago. Her monthly costs could now go down $150.
What it means is that I can stay on this for longer. It'll enable me to continue without having to worry about the cost implications.
Under the new agreement, the cost for these drugs will range between roughly $150 and $450 a month, depending on dosage and whether it's an injectable or new pill.
People may notice that your oral weight loss pill is still awaiting FDA approval. Now you've just made a deal with the Trump administration. Should people read into that?
Well, as part of the deal, they've agreed to give us an expedited approval.
Eli Lilly says it's also now getting 3 years of tariff relief from the administration. And if that pill form version of a weight loss drug is approved, Eli Lilly says the lowest dose version of the drug will cost $149 a month. Back to you.
All right, Liz Kreutz, thank you.
We talk a lot about artificial intelligence here, right? And artificial intelligence companies are increasingly being taken to court, accused of using copyrighted work without permission. NBC News Now anchor Gotti Schwartz spoke with an author behind one landmark lawsuit.
It's the largest copyright settlement in American history. The AI company Anthropic forced to pay out a whopping $1.5 billion after a judge said it illegally pirated more than 7 million digitized books to train its AI model. Charles Graeber was one of the 3 plaintiffs in the class action lawsuit and says Anthropic used his 2 books, The Good Nurse and The Breakthrough, without his knowledge.
When you saw the titles of your books in this database, it seems like a 1-2 punch. 1, it's being pirated, and 2, it's being used to generate something completely different.
I was shocked, and then I was really, really angry. It seemed fundamentally unfair to me and to my co-litigants that big tech company would take years of our lives' work and create a now $250 billion product and not even think to let us know that they'd stolen it.
The court ruling was a mixed bag, with the judge deciding that Anthropic can train its AI on legally obtained copyrighted works under fair use law, but that fair use doesn't extend to illegally downloaded work.
When copyright law was created, when the notion of fair use was created, AI didn't exist. We call it artificial intelligence, but if I called something artificial gold, you know it wasn't gold. So this isn't really intelligence. It's an algorithm. It's a product. And it shouldn't be given the same rights that human beings have.
Under the terms of the settlement, Anthropic must compensate about 500,000 authors $3,000 for each work it used. The AI giant notably does not have to admit wrongdoing or liability, but this settlement could be the tip of the iceberg. There are more than 40 lawsuits between AI companies and copyright holders currently in litigation across the country. Right now, nearly 20 best-selling authors, including John Grisham, Jodi Picoult, and George R.R. Martin, are suing OpenAI, alleging systematic theft on a mass scale for using their work to train ChatGPT.
What is that dollar amount? Is it whatever a bunch of lawyers and a judge agree it is? How do we determine what is the value of content creation if an AI or some other similar artificial intelligence is going to use it for perpetuity, forever and ever?
Do you feel disposable? Do you think that there is the potential for what you do to be completely replaced by AI?
AI will never go into a maximum security prison and interview a serial killer. There are certain aspects of just the job of journalism and the craft of writing, frankly, that I think will be uniquely human. But at the same time, there's no question among any author that I know that AI is an existential threat. It's the genie's out of the bottle.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News.
A major symbol of the holiday season is on its way here to New York City. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree will arrive here in Manhattan tomorrow morning. The majestic Norway spruce was actually cut down yesterday. It comes from East Greenbush, New York, just outside of Albany, about 3 hours from here. Fun fact, this year's tree 1 foot taller than last year's tree. I visited it before it was cut down. The family donating it told me they had a feeling it would be perfect for Rock Center. You could say they willed this moment into existence.
From above, this towering Norway spruce confidently stretches 75 feet high, while down below it serves as a sturdy jungle gym for 7-year-old Liam Russ, though his mom Judy always felt the tree was destined for more.
My husband and I talked about getting a crane to decorate it, and I was like, I think we have something here, for real.
You've never been able to decorate it, right?
No, the crane never came to fruition. We never got to do that, but it was always a thought.
A thought that started to balloon last year when she took Liam to Manhattan to see the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and couldn't help but think of their beauty back home.
Family just knew this tree was perfect for New York. Thankfully, they had a friend whose relative worked at Rock Center and was able to get a picture of this Norway spruce in the right hands.
Once Rock Center's head gardener Eric Posey saw the tree in person, well, he knew it was perfect.
When Eric told you this is going to be the tree,
I just hallucinated. Like, we need to go back because there's no way this is real, right?
As for Liam,
now that you know your tree is going to be that tree this year, what do you think?
I'm excited that the whole world can see it.
Topped with a Swarovski star and a blinding number of lights.
Did you hear how many lights they're going to put on this tree?
No.
50,000 lights. Mind-boggling, right?
He's speechless.
It's especially meaningful for the Russes because in 2020, Judy's husband Dan passed away. The property where the tree was planted has belonged to his family for more than a century.
He would have loved to have been here for this moment. We always talked about it being the tree. So it's so special that my family's tree gets to be America, if not the world's Christmas tree.
Judy grew up in New York City, so visiting the tree in person is a family ritual. Now she's keeping that tradition going for other families.
What's it going to be like for you when the tree is lit?
Well, I cry at home in my living room when the tree is lit, so I'm probably going to be inconsolable that day, but it's going to be great.
For Liam, there are plenty of other trees to climb, but this one is now a tribute to his late dad and to all family members no longer with us.
Spread joy, spread cheer, love one another, think of our family, think of my husband, think of us. We're just happy to share it with everybody.
And the tree will arrive here at Rock Center tomorrow morning, pulling in live here on Saturday today. The crew will take some time to trim the tree with those 50,000 lights, that big Swarovski star. Then the lighting will take place December 3rd. And yes, the Russ family will be here for that big moment, and they are deeply excited for it.
Also, I'm sorry, just like Christmas jazz.
You like that?
Jazz. Does that not just put everybody in the mood? What a great story about the tree this year.
It's a special family, so I'm glad that we can share their story and they can share the tree with us.
So excited.
Coming up, it has been a busy week, but the good news is we have finally made it to Friday.
Woohoo! That can only mean one thing here on Morning News Now. Grab your coffee, maybe some morning popcorn, because pop culture guru, an esteemed friend of the show, Brian Balthazar, is with us after the break to break down the latest and greatest from the world of Hollywood. Everything you can't miss this weekend. See you in a minute, Brian.
We're back now with your weekly can't miss list.
That's a look at all the movies and shows that you got to see this weekend.
And joining us this week is our friend, entertainment journalist, pop culture expert Brian Balthazar. Good to have you with us.
Good to see you both.
All right, so we got Predator Badlands.
Yes.
Which I guess this one's a little different because we're supposed to feel a little something for the alien.
Feel some sort of way. So this is the 9th Predator movie. The first one in '87 was
Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to believe it's the same one because this Predator has been ostracized by his family and sent away.
Aww.
Oh, it's not my autobiography. It's the Predator. Just kidding. The Predator then meets an android played by Elle Fanning, and it's the first PG-13 one, and it's got a little bit more heart. You're seeing things a little bit more from the point of view of the predator than you're used to. But there is action. They are being hunted, for those of you who want a little bit more, kind of suspense. Okay. But this one's getting a lot of good feedback, and that it may be one of the better ones in the 9.
Okay, another movie that I'm really excited to see, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, as we've been discussing already, is Die, My Love. It stars Jennifer Lawrence, Robert Pattinson, 2 huge names. It looks intense.
Yes, and it does. Okay, so it's this couple that moved to a remote cottage, and then Robert Pattinson's character kind of becomes more absent, and Jennifer Lawrence's character kind of has a descent into basically an unraveling into madness. And it's the intensity of that mental journey that is the film. And this premiered at Cannes, and she's been called ferocious and fearless in this film. It's not like, oh, I laughed so hard. No, this is intense. It is a brutal journey, but it's getting a lot of good feedback on her performance as well.
She is fantastic.
The message is just stay in the city.
Right.
Honestly.
Don't go into the woods.
Tell my husband that.
All right, we got a few films that are based on true stories. One is Christie, starring Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, that's right.
Who's playing one of the most successful female boxers of all time.
Probably the pioneer, for sure, Christy Martin. Sydney Sweeney trained and gained about 30 pounds of sheer muscle. And this is about not only Christy Martin's ascent into popularity as a boxer, but also the tumultuous and often very destructive relationship with her husband, who is also her coach, that veers into really frightening. So it's a career journey, but it's also a very personal struggle that she suffered along the way. But she was the first female boxer on Sports Illustrated magazine. She's in one of the first in the Boxing Hall of Fame. So quite a story there.
Isn't Sydney getting some buzz for her acting in this?
Yeah, I mean, because this is not your typical Sydney Sweeney role.
Right.
This is like an acting chops role, which is great to see her do.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. All right, Sarah's Oil. This is another one. This is based off of a true story that sounds like almost too crazy to believe.
Right, it is inspired by the story of an 11-year-old girl who received several acres of land that ultimately then turns out to have oil on it, which then the story tells the story of how she kind of has to fight to keep the land, because once everyone finds out there's oil on it, the battle begins for that land. It ultimately ends up with her being the youngest, one of the youngest, and one of the first black female millionaires, and no less, not even a teenager when this happened.
That is just amazing.
It's remarkable. It's really a remarkable story.
Cool story to tell.
Yeah.
All right, so we got something from Apple TV, which is the same creators as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. It is set in New Mexico.
Right.
But that's, I guess, where the similarities end. It's sci-fi?
Exactly.
Pluribus.
It's sci-fi dark comedy called Pluribus.
Okay.
And it's a woman who lives in a world where everyone is happy because of an alien signal that is emitted upon the whole population, but it doesn't work on her. So she's literally the most miserable person in her world.
And everyone else is happy?
And everyone's like conflict-free and happy. But imagine the misery of that when everyone else, and she knows that this is not normal, and she's not happy. So it's already been given a second season on Apple TV.
Oh, wow. Look at this lower third. A miserable person must save the world from happiness.
Right?
Wow, it really sells it.
Fantastic. The people on might, if they walk by, they might think it's one of us. Like, which one of them? Right. Am I the one?
Okay, finally, this is interesting because of the actresses in this. Sarah Snook from Succession. We all love Sarah Snook so much. And also Dakota Fanning. There's a series on Peacock.
Yes, okay, so Sarah is a mom who goes to pick up her child from a play date that was arranged from school. She goes to the house, and the kid is not there, nor is the parent. That basically there's no one there that can account for the child. So she calls the person who arranged the play date, and the phone is disconnected. And so it's
I just got
horrifying.
the chills.
Yeah,
literally.
and Sarah Snook is incredibly. The scene that you see in the trailer that explains this premise, she's just so good. She's just
good
such
in
a great
everything.
actress. She really is incredible.
She's already got an Emmy. She's got a Tony.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse.
Yeah, maybe she'll get another one with this.
Yeah.
Can she sing?
Are you saying? Pardon me?
Can she sing? Will she,
It was-
can she go EGOT?
I don't know.
Let's call her. Well, but she killed it on Broadway recently.
That's true.
Yeah,
Is that
it
a
was
singing
really-
part?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
It was,
So
but she
this
played
is-
like
Shows how much I know.
27
Picture of Dorian
roles.
Gray. She was like 26 characters.
It
Did
was-
I even
yeah.
ask that question right? Was it a singing part?
Yeah.
That's
Dave
good.
hummed
Yeah, that works.
slightly, you know.
All right, Brian, thank you. Next week, singing part for you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us. The news continues right now.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.